Hey friends, welcome in. Have you missed Sunny Girl? If you haven't met her, this is Sunny, my dear friend.
Hey y'all.
And she does YouTube videos as well. A lot of you have already gone to her channel and started watching, which has been so cool to watch. I was telling her today that at Hudson's age, it's actually kind of hard for me to even sit down and just like record without him snatching the tripod. She babysat him a few days ago and she knows how he is.
I know, he is a handful, but in a good way, he's fun.
If we knew now what we did when we were dating, like what would look different, what would we tell ourselves?
Yeah.
And we just want to kind of like pass that on to you because I loved having these conversations with other women.
Yeah.
And with even older married people, I would just sit under them and just listen to them talk for like hours because they'd be like, tell me all your all your stuff. I want to learn it all. One thing that Sunny and I have talked about a lot, we wish we would have had more grace for our husbands and the dating portion of our relationship.
Yes. So what did that look like for you and Nick?
Yeah, I think the first year of marriage, it revealed a lot of like what our dating, I think, could have looked like if I pressed into like the prayer thing.
Yeah.
And in dating, I think I took a lot of things personally, like as in he was trying to intentionally hurt me. And realizing now that a lot of the reasons why I did that was from past like hurts in childhood and past relationships. And I was really just doing what I had always kind of thought was the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Made me realize that like my husband is a godly man and he is incredible, but his process and the way that God teaches him is not the way that he teaches me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I learned that a lot in dating.
Yeah, and I think one thing I'm hearing you saying too is even in the dating season, you probably wish you would have like focused more on kind of getting your needs met from the Lord versus Nick.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I think I don't know if you guys can relate, but I think we all can relate to what Chelsea is saying. And I think that's one mistake that we make. We're focused so much on how, for one, I think it's natural to have a desire, like, especially as a believer, you know, you want a godly marriage, you want a godly man. I think it's so easy to focus on like what they're doing or not doing. And we miss out on like how God is wanting to process us personally as wives first, or just in general. It doesn't have to even, I feel like even in the dating season, we forget that like, God is preparing us for marriage and preparing us, you know, to be a godly wife and preparing our husbands or boyfriend to be a godly man, but we don't want to miss out on like what God wants to do with us just in general. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's going to continue. Just because you get
even
married
in marriage
doesn't mean you've arrived at this like godly status, which you're never going to surpass. It's like your relationship with God is not a status.
If anything, it goes a little bit deeper when you get in marriage. I mean, things come up, and just like Chelsea was saying, I truly believe like God does like division in order to unify. We think when we get married, it's like, we become one flesh, but like that becoming one is like, the process of becoming one is a process. You know what I mean? Like you have to unlearn things in your own individual process and to be able to be unified in that. I think because I didn't have good examples of godly marriage, I kind of just look more so to like influencers or like, you know, just like godly couples like through the internet. That like, because I didn't really know exactly what that looked like, I didn't have these super heavy expectations of Giovanni that I actually wish I did. Like I called him higher at some points because not that my expectations were low, I think I knew what I like desired and wanted, and like I didn't settle for, you know, I wanted to wait till marriage and we both honored that and stuff like that. But I think
we think that's like the bar, like that's the only
where exactly.
That's just like honestly the
lowest. Like, you know, waiting until marriage, that was like one of my standards, but it really is the lowest of the low that you should expect. A basic expectation that I have, because I know not everyone watching this is a believer, but I think one thing that is important for us to take note of when we're in that dating season or even engaged is to like actually check their fruit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So in my head, it was just like, oh, he pursues me and that's cool. But like, I think one thing I wish I would have been more intentional about or just knew was just to like really check on a man's fruit. And
I know Nick and I both like had experience going to a conference together and like moments in church. These things that you kind of do as a couple and you experience together, but they aren't quite, okay, how does he treat me in daily life?
Yeah, that's
like,
what I mean. And it looks different for every man because everyone's personality is so different. And so when I say what I mean by checking his fruit, it's just like, does he treat me well? Does he treat me with respect? You know? Does he have self-control?
That's a big one.
Is he ambitious? Does he have goals in life? You know, like is he lazy? Like what is his fruit like? Because I think for us, we think about, oh, does he lead in church? Does he serve in church? And like it automatically goes to like titles and positions and like this culture that we've portrayed really here in America, where we think it's like an outward appearance, but it's really just like his heart. You know what I'm saying? Just by like how he treats you, how he speaks to you, how he pursues you. Is he gentle? You know what I'm saying? Is he patient? All the fruits of the spirit. You know? So it's just things as simple as that. Those are things that you can be looking out for in your dating season.
Observing the friends that my husband had at the time during like dating, and just the people that were surrounding him and like what voices were speaking into him. Obviously, a lot of those voices you can't control, like family, you know, just the people that are raising you, and obviously those people have impressions on us that we a lot of times don't even realize are there until we're like kind of into adulthood, and we're like, why am I responding to you this way? Okay, like there must be something, you know, that has just kind of been put in me from childhood, or a lie I've been believing, or whatever. And God's so kind to reveal those things as we, you know, mature, and he can speak truth into those very areas. But the friends that our husbands have and we have are so important. Like praying specifically, like if you know that maybe you're getting into a relationship with a guy that, for example, is in the military, or like just moves a lot, or whatever, community is going to look different for you, but it's still just as important to just like press in and pray for those friends. And I know that Nick has shifted a lot in his friends. He had a lot of very different friends when we were dating, and even before I knew him. And now it's starting to change, and I would say it's gonna always change, but like that community outside of your relationship is like everything. Yes. That was the only word that came to mind. I was like, dang, like it's just so special to just have friendship, and it's definitely something that God has put in our lives for a divine purpose.
Absolutely. I think that also speaks to the fact that like we kind of have it all. We don't like know these things, and I think that's why we're doing this video, so we can tell y'all like when you're in that dating season, really be praying for who you're dating and or who you're engaged to, whatever season that you're in. Really be praying for them intentionally. I think a lot of times, I was just telling Chelsea this, I think a lot of times we focus on like praying more so about marriage in particular versus just praying for them.
Yeah, for them
and their walk.
Everything surrounding them.
Anything concerning them, I think it's just really important to cover them in prayer, because I don't know, I kind of think about it like this. This might sound weird, especially because I'm married now, but you almost have to like view them as a brother in Christ during that season, because it helps you to put them in the mind frame of like, I still want to like just be praying for him because, you know, I'm just be praying for him just because, versus the focus being on like, God, make him a better leader, make him, you know, be this for me type of prayers, and more so God just like mold him into who he needs to be. God, give him patience, bless him with community, bless him with godly community,
make me the woman I'm supposed to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Versus the prayers being like focus on something else. Anyway.
No, that's good, Sunny. That's really good. But I'm just like learning to just be present and listening, and then I forget them. And
I'm doing the same thing. As you're talking, I get an idea of how we can go to something else, and then I forget.
And then it went away.
The devil is a liar.
And I think the intentions, or even viewing marriage as like lifelong friendship, because a lot of times we sexualize everything. We think that marriage is just like this romantic relationship, whereas like daily life, walking with somebody else, looks a lot like like seeing somebody through the highs and lows of friendship, of like true companionship together, that grace like should not only be extended to them but to ourselves too, because we don't want to be like self-condemning in the midst of like we're both growing together. You know?
I think that's really good, Chels. And I think in my dating season, I wish I would have remembered that too, because I think we forget that like, I kid you not, Chelsea, what you said was so good. And I knew what I was gonna say just now. Like I literally was like, what was I gonna say?
What a girl wants, what a girl needs.
Maybe dancing will bring it back.
Hey. Oh my gosh!
Lord, I just pray right now, God, that you would just bring back to remembrance everything that is coming to our minds, Lord. I just pray that if this dang, I really just went in over there.
What?
When I was punching the bed, it messed my hair up. I think once you get the whole like, is this the one? Once you answer that question for yourself as far as like who you're dating, for me, I think it's easier to begin to have like to start building on your relationship, because you were speaking about something just with like grace and stuff like that. And I think for me, I was so focused on, is this the one, and like really wanting to confirm that with the Lord before. And I say that because it put me into the mindset of kind of like overdoing it as far as my expectations for him. You know what I mean? Like lacking grace for him, because I knew that, okay, now he's my husband, so he has to be this, and this. But I wish I would have known that, like, I wish I too would have known to have more grace for Giovanni. Just enjoying each other, because I think the church does such a bad job of godly marriage looking like one certain thing. And I think not enough people speak to the fact that like in our dating season, in our engaged in marriage, we're still being processed by the Lord. And like we have to have grace for each other, and like we forget that we're growing in this together. And Giovanni, like we haven't arrived yet at all. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what I was gonna speak to. And I think I just don't want people like watching this, or whoever is watching this, to feel this pressure for it to look a certain way. I think it's important for us as married women to really let y'all know that even in the midst of your dating season, I think once you get that peace that this is of the Lord, and that you've sought the Lord, that if this is the one, and it won't always necessarily be like an audible like this is your husband. Sometimes it's just as simple as like you have peace about it. Like when I was walking, like although God did confirm to me about Giovanni, I had a lot of doubt, even just like up until our wedding day. I don't know if you experienced that, but like when he like, even in the midst of like our engagement, he proposed, and I had this like, I knew he was the one because the Lord confirmed it. But then the enemy tried to come in and like bring doubt. But I say all that to say there was still like a peace that I had. But that's good. I think that I just want to like encourage you that like it doesn't look perfect in the dating or engaged season. Like it's not gonna be this like arrival or look a certain way. Like just enjoy each other and really just like grow and learn together, and just extend that grace towards them, because just as much as like we're learning, I mean, they're learning as well. And like once you become one, all the grace is needed.
So oftentimes we're looking for comfort in the midst of like a doubt that we're having, and we're then kind of urged to have a conversation on the basis of what that question is. And so you could either have like a conversation that leads to conflict that could be greater intimacy and understanding one another. That's what I really mean by intimacy. Or like coming up with all these excuses and just like allowing yourself to enter into that conversation with, we may disagree here. And that's okay. The goal is not to be right on everything. It's to understand one another better so that you can like keep growing from there, to like keep building on each conversation, because you're gonna have a lot of these same conversations as you grow together. loved also that you said that you should just enjoy one another, because I remember writing our last book that is coming out, and I know we keep talking about it because I'm so excited, but the last chapter is enjoying one another, and I feel like people are just like nobody really talks about just like truly enjoying each other's company and just having fun, because a lot of times that's the key in going through like really tough seasons, is just being able to like go and have fun together and like drop the seriousness and the toughness of life and just like say, you're my person that I laugh with. You're my person that I have fun with. And like, it's just beautiful to have that. And so you should be able to have fun with like the person that you're with.
Absolutely.
You know, not everything has to be like heavy and serious and like, is he the one? You know, like just drop that pressure, because there really is none at all.
And I think in doing that, it helps you to figure out, is he the one? Do you enjoy him? Can he crack a joke and he's funny? You know what I mean? Like, it's like through just enjoying each other and not making it so serious, you can really just like begin to build friendship, begin to build intimacy, like you were saying, and really just see like, is this someone that I can spend the rest of my life with? And there's just so much through that, just spending time together, that is revealed. Because I mean, I even think about me and Giovanni's relationship, and like there were just certain things that he would do that confirmed to me that like he's gonna be a great husband. I remember there was this one time we were dating, and it's not funny, but I'm just thinking about it now, but Giovanni was taking me to work, and there was a man who like his motorcycle flipped over. And I was like already late to work, and Giovanni was like taking me to work because I didn't have a ride, and this guy kind of like wrecked his moped a little bit. It wasn't like a bad accident, but Giovanni literally whips over the car, parks, and he runs after, like he parks the car, and I'm just sitting here like, what's going on? And he like runs to the middle of the street to check on this man and like help him up and make sure that like he was okay. And I'm like late for work, so me and my selfishness, I'm like, don't worry about him, I gotta get to work. But in that, I was like, wow, Giovanni like truly cares and like loves people well. And I'm like, I just knew that he's just such a good person, like his heart is just so pure. And he just like sat there and like helped the man and checked on him and like helped fix his moped and just like really just stopped his entire morning to like pause and go assist. And that to me just spoke volumes to me. And it's just basically things like that. Like I didn't have a ride to work, and I'm like, he took me to work. And so just doing life together, I think just it'll naturally show you who that person is.
How do I wrap this thing up? But I'm so appreciative that Sunny came. And she let me come into her apartment and just record with her. At first I was just like, Sunny, can I just record like by myself? Because either way I'm going to record a video and just talk about this. But it was so great. I was so grateful to have like your perspective on this too. And I know everybody loved.
Well, I hope it was helpful. I feel like I was kind of just rambling. But
no, it was definitely helpful. Definitely helpful. I wish I had like somebody like you to talk to whenever I was dating. It was, a blessing. So check out Sunny's YouTube channel as well. You knew I was gonna do this. I forgot. Go to her video. She's taking a break off from the week though, because she's also a photographer and she's editing a bunch of people's photos, which I love that she leans into like when she needs to record, when she needs to not.
Thanks for having me here, Chels.
Thank you for coming on. We'll probably do more things in the future, but until then, guys, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.